but we'll go ahead and get started. So just please raise your hand and I'll call on you. Pepper, you can go first.
Hi, Jasmine. Great to see you. I hope your break's going great. Just how are you staying connected with the team?
We are actually back practicing here in Connecticut, getting ready for that Commissioner's Cup game. So we have 2 practices left until we leave for Phoenix. Things are going well, getting our conditioning back, and it's nice to be back in the swing of things.
Hey, and you mentioned the Commissioner's Cup. Just what's your team's approach to that game?
As always, play hard, be relentless. That's our identity. And we have just been really working on us, focusing on us. We know the style of play that Seattle likes. So obviously, we can scout them, know their sets and how they like to play defense. But we have really been focusing on our details, executing our offense and getting back into our defensive philosophy during this time.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Rafiq?
How much have you enjoyed the build-up to the upcoming Commissioner's Cup?
It's been pretty cool. Even when we were playing in that first half of the season, every game meant something. And it was, it's nice to have that intensity all season long. And we're proud of making it in the first annual Commissioner's Cup. And we want to represent our community, our families, and, the Sun organization well.
Alexa?
Hey Jazz, it's good to see you. I hope you had a great break. How great was it to actually be able to mentally unwind, physically just, get away from the game a little bit. And then once you return to have, I don't know, like 2 weeks to be able to really I know Kurt's kind of called it like another training camp, but this time like everyone was actually here. So how good was that for the team just to have that time together to really get on the practice court?
I think it was nice, especially, like most of us in the W that play year round overseas, that break was necessary, with the pandemic hitting us last year and being in that bubble and going straight overseas, really needed that time to kind of be with family, just unwind, step away from basketball, which was helpful. And you could see it in our practices that we came back refreshed. Everyone, was happy to see each other. And it's just been really good. And I wasn't here for training camp, so having this time to kind of be here and really get back comfortable has been fun.
Have you been working on mostly offense, mostly defense, a little bit of both?
We have been working on everything. Practices have been a little longer than they were once we're playing games. So we've been able to really break it down and get into the details of our offense and our defense.
Cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Doug, you'll be the last question for Jazz.
Hey, Jazz. Good morning from Tokyo.
Hey, what's up?
So I got 2 for you. I apologize for not knowing this. Have you played in Euro Cup championships like this at all in your career?
Yes. So not every country, but most countries do have a cup game in their domestic league. And it's usually like the top 8 teams kind of compete for that cup, but it isn't a single elimination game. It's kind of a tournament. But yes, I have competed in games like this.
So, how does this compare? In the sense that it's the first one of these. So is it similar sort of the philosophy for you guys or different?
Yeah, because our season is condensed, you know how I said overseas, it's more of a tournament. We kind of put that tournament in the regular season. So your, first game home and away against your conference opponents were like the tournament. So what those games qualified you for this final game. And really, it's just going to be a really competitive game because you play each other all season. And now you match up against a Western Conference opponent that, maybe different style of play, someone that you don't see as much as maybe the Eastern team. So I don't know, it just kind of brings back that like East and West Coast competition.
And just to follow up, obviously you guys are all in camp right now and their stars are all over here with Tokyo with me. How much advantage is that you'll have had a week or 2 of practice where they're maybe a day that they're actually back together again?
We're definitely using it to our advantage. We're preparing. We're using the time that we have to really get better as a team, get out some of that slippage that we had at the end of the first half of the season. And we're just taking advantage of it. We're supporting our Olympians at USA and, hoping that they bring home gold, and then we'll be ready to play that cup game when they get back.
Thanks, Jazz.
Yep. Thank you.
Thanks, Jazz. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Rafiq, you can go first.
Hey, Coach, how much have you enjoyed the preparation for the upcoming Commissioner's Cup?
You know, it's almost like, Rafik, a second training camp for us. And considering that most of our veterans either missed the entire training camp or very abbreviated training camp, it's been great to get back to work on what is so core to how we believe in playing and what we believe in what we need to do to be successful. So just really appreciate how hard our group has practiced. You know, with a league that is typically a recovery league, you don't always get to practice with the duration or intensity that this group has practiced at and had the desire to practice at each and every day. So it's just been terrific. It's been a lot about ourselves and less about Seattle so far. As we come off a day off tomorrow, we'll get more specifically into the beast that Seattle is.
Alexa?
Hi, Kurt. Oh my God, I almost forgot my question. What was I gonna ask? Oh, you had mentioned before the break that the team's calling card, defense and rebounding. Offense is the area where probably the most improvement could be made. So how have you all been able to take advantage of the break to improve on the offensive end of the floor and really get it down into the nitty gritty of what adjustments need to be made there?
Yeah, again, I think anytime you have a team that you feel has a chance to be really special and you nitpick, and our defensive rating ranks out really high in a lot of areas, but offensively, we're still high. I mean, I think we're in the top 4 in offensive rating in a lot of areas. So, I'm nitpicking when I say that our offense has to be better, but it does if we want to have a special season. So, we've got back to what I believe in this spacing, timing, our intent on how we play. A lot of times your defensive front line is your offensive execution. Are you taking good shots? Are you cutting down turnovers? So, Alexa, that's been a point of emphasis. We're 10th in turnover ratio percentage, and that's magnified in my mind since our pace of play is intentionally a bit slower this year. So, we've emphasized taking care of the basketball. We've emphasized executing the good shots. And then challenge them. When we execute to open shots, we've got to go make shots. And when we don't, we have to be the dominating offensive rebounding team that we're capable of being. So it's a long way of answering a lot of what we're working on.
Is part of that too, just especially maybe where turnovers are concerned, trying to get that chemistry going? And I know even Jazz was saying, like, I wasn't here during the first training camp, and obviously you all played games together, but to actually have that chemistry continue to build in training camp, how helpful do you think that's been?
For sure. And again, as I said to Rafik, these guys are getting the practice duration wise longer than you typically do in the middle of the season, at intensity higher than you do at this point in the season. So we've gotten a lot of good work together. Will it translate? Will we come out and play well in the Commissioner's Cup? Will we play well in Dallas? I think you're going to see a lot of teams improve because of this second stretch of practices. You're going to see a lot of teams improve as teams get healthier, and then who arrives into this league here now that wasn't maybe here before. So we're just challenging them. We can't be status quo. We've got to get better in all sorts of areas.
Thanks, Kurt.
Yeah.
Doug, you can go ahead.
Hey, Kurt. Good morning from Tokyo.
Morning, Doug.
So I'm curious. I'm not trying to stir up trouble here, but how much of an advantage is it for you guys that your full roster is there right now for a game on Thursday, and Seattle is missing 5 players, including 3 who probably won't even get back in the States until Monday, and then won't be able to practice probably till Tuesday and get 1 day under their belt?
Doug, there's no doubt that I text our president, Jen Rosati, every day and expect Bird, Stewie, and Jewel Lloyd to log 35 minutes, and I'm disappointed when they don't play 35 minutes. So I have something to say to our team president about that. joking. But you know, the unintended consequence of not having anybody on an Olympic team here in Connecticut, we were able to give them a longer window off. The advantage, you know, they really got to recharge, refresh. A lot of our players came directly from their international teams. Our core group came from their international teams because we had players on the top teams in so many different countries. So we were able to give them longer off. The good news is that when we got back, it wasn't individual workouts. It wasn't 2-on-2s, the 3-on-3. We could get right back into 5-on-5 work, and we knew that. So certainly we have an advantage over someone like Seattle, but with their so many players over internationally. Again, how does that translate? We'll wait and see. But you're right. You know, we've had our group back together practicing. So, you know, but the Commissioner Cup is just a small piece of this. You know, there's a financial piece that's great for the players. There's a great piece because they're the top team in the league and we get to evaluate ourselves where we're at. But ultimately, there's bigger fish to fry for all of us as we get back to the regular season on the 15th.
And I'm just curious. I mean, obviously, it's once every 4 years of the Olympics. When do you think that the right time for the Commissioner Cup finals to be? Because I mean, I'm not sure what the right time would be for it going forward.
Yeah, I think it's a unique event. We're excited to be involved in the inaugural event and earned our right there. I think it is a neat way to jumpstart the second half of the season. Ultimately, it's a great event for the players financially. What window in the long run it's best with, you know, I think that's always up for the discussion with the league and not necessarily us in terms of an individual team. But I think it's a neat way to jumpstart after the Olympics right into a special, you know, first time event.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Get some sleep.
Thanks, everyone.